Sounds of Gwen Stefani with If I Was a Rich Girl. I wonder what your life would be like. Anyway, we continue our conversations. You're listening to the Social Impact Show with me, Sam Marshall. Mondays to Fridays, 9 to 12. We talk to amazing people about the work that they do to not just build this country, but they really think about problem solving in unique ways. And this morning is no different. Now, the Wits Anglo Dome is more than a planetarium. It's a cutting-edge digital space that blends entertainment, education, and immersive storytelling. As South Africa continues to drive innovation, the Dome offers a unique platform to explore science, history, and culture in breathtaking new ways. But beyond the technology, what impact does it have on education, creativity, and brand South Africa? Joining me now is Dr. Moumita Aitch to discuss the Anglo Dome's vision, influence, and future. Doc, did I get your name right?
Yes, you did. Yes.
Thanks. How are you doing, Doc?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, man. What an interesting conversation. We've all seen the Dome. We've all seen it off the highway. We've seen it when we're at Wits. But it's quite interesting to have this conversation. And I think it's almost a full circle moment for me because I'm getting to meet the people kind of behind it. But tell us a little bit about the Dome.
Yeah, so the original building, it's still the same as you look from when you're driving on the highway. So it's still the green iconic building. So the original building hasn't been changed. What we have is an extension to the building. It's that where we have our office spaces, more event spaces, and like seminar rooms and things like that. So we can actually, build a team to make more content and, have a little bit more shows. And as you mentioned, that it's not only just a planetarium anymore. It's not just for astronomy. So there is already existing software which you can use for other subjects, basically to learn about STEAM subjects, so science, technology. So there's a lot of physics, chemistry, maths, biology modules in there which you can show it to school kids, things like that. The expansion is that. And obviously inside the Dome there has been changes, massive changes, which is we used to have a projector, analog projector called the Zeiss projector. It was built in the 1930s, and the Dome opened on 12th of October 1960, and since then we've had that projector.
1960, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, Dome has been there for a long time, and the projector is older. It's originally from Germany, in Hamburg in Germany, in the 1930s. It was doing a very good job, but with what happens is, in every field, the technology takes over. And so you can see that there are certain things which the analog projector can't do, and so most planetariums in the world are also going digital, and it was time for Wits Planetarium to also go digital.
Yeah.
So that is also the thing.
But you no longer call it the planetarium. It's now the Wits Anglo American Digital Dome.
Yeah, so we call it the Wits Anglo American Digital Dome. Obviously, Anglo American is our biggest sponsors, and then Digital Dome, just to show that it's not a planetarium anymore. It's still, you see the stars.
You still see those basic things, but it's so much more.
It is so much more. So that's why we have moved away from the term planetarium.
Yeah. I remember going there, and I remember sitting in those seats, and I remember being blown away by the universe being brought to me at such scale.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting, the shift, because we have the Sphere in Vegas, which is this massive dome, right? But we've seen other iconic structures as well around the world that has this digital enhancing capability. I even remember that at the waterfront for some time, there was this massive IMAX theater. So we've become used to seeing beautiful, vibrant images, to see them larger than life. In your opinion, and I know it's under your leadership now that it's doing all these other things, but how does this position South Africa, if you think of what the rest of the world, and to your point, the rest of the planetariums have shifted to this, from this very analog system to this digital system, how does this advance our cause in making sure that if we're not a leader, that we're at least in the top class?
Yeah. So We are one of the 5, I would say, planetariums in South Africa, the largest in South Africa. It is the largest in sub-Saharan Africa also. And the technology is such that even though, like, again, as I mentioned, it is mostly for astronomy, you can have all sorts of content in it. And the content is actually made with something which is probably familiar to computer graphics and gamers, is Unity. So the framework you use to make games is the same as you use to make content on the Dome. And so if you know how to use Unity, it is possible to literally make any content on the Dome. And otherwise, like shots, like if you get a 360-degree camera and you get high-resolution shots with that camera,
that full panoramic view, right?
That is basically what we need for the Dome. And I think that is already a multidisciplinary thing, and it's not only restricted to astronomy. And you can just explore so many avenues, like from mining to anthropology and deep sea diving and things like that. Everything is possible.
That must be amazing to watch.
Yes.
Anything underwater must be amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Or can you imagine, for example, watching a rocket launch from that perspective, the SpaceX stuff or any of that kind of stuff? One of the big mandates for you, other than driving the leadership through academic programs, which you'll develop, the new facility is also going to have an entrepreneurial context, which I think is interesting because it means it now has to become, not to say that it was never business minded, but it now has to think in terms of how do we develop. So even though, I'm the head of the Dome, but there is a whole team behind me. Of course. So the School of Physics is one of the key drivers of this project. So I would never stop thanking them because they made it possible. It's not just the School of Physics. It's actually many departments in Wits University, starting from engineering department. That will now have
campus
access
planning.
to that.
Yes. So everyone has come across to build that. Now, the entrepreneurship is obviously important because, as you can understand, making this content is not cheap. Each of these shows takes quite a long time to produce because it's not the shots, like taking a shot with a 360-degree camera is not just it's not a simple task also. And also, like when you were trying to make computer graphics, say with Unity, it's not the graphics which take the time, it's the rendering to a very high resolution which takes most of the time. For example, one frame for a 8K resolution movie takes almost 30 to 40 minutes, one frame, and we run it at 60 frames per second.
Wow.
And if you want to see like even a half an hour show, can you imagine how much time we take?
That's so
this is where it all comes in. So we do need the money, we need the people working on it, and that is where we need the sustainable model for and the sustainability will come through the entrepreneurship.
But when you talk about sustainability, it then begs the question that the people who are going to be involved in that needs to think a bit differently.
Yes.
Because sometimes what happens in the context of a university, finances are ring-fenced, right?
Yes.
And so the fact that Anglo American has come on board, they see the value of turning this from a planetarium into an actual hub that services many aspects. And we now know the ability for children to learn through images and video and audio is probably as powerful as having a book.
Yes, of course.
So what kind of thinking do you think now needs to be taken into consideration to make sure it does become sustainable? And the nice thing about when you do innovative new things, it opens up the university with a different lens to potentially a sector who never thought the university was sexy, for lack of a better description.
So we already had a few corporate events at the Dome.
Oh, wow.
Because they want the Dome. They want a different space. So it has an auditorium-like seating. So it's a capacity of 200. So that is only the limitation. So if you bring more than 200, it's difficult.
You can sit outside.
But like other than that, it's a 200-seater auditorium, and you can do anything from like full Dome presentations or even just play a PowerPoint presentation from your laptop. So things like that can be done, and corporates have definitely use that facility, and that's where it comes in, like where we can be sustainable at some, because they want something very different.
Very different.
They want they have their own, say, agenda,
and it's about creating a unique
but they also,
experience.
Yeah, it's a give their clients a very different experience, and which is not possible somewhere else, I would say.
Yeah,
So,
I think doctor's gone into full sales mode. Yeah.
well, I come from academia, so it took me a while to get that, but now I'm enjoying talking with different groups of people, different fields, different.
And to open it up.
Yes, yeah. So we've had a few. And
talking about opening it up,
yeah.
Doc, in terms of the reaction from schools and stuff like that.
Yes.
What has that experience been
the
like?
School shows, we had a few school shows, but like there's so many coming up, because we opened up for the public only on 1st of February.
So it's new, it's fresh.
So the public shows are going very well. It's more or less fully booked, every single show. And so the school shows are also going great. We've had a few schools, but there are many schools lined up. And I just love when the kids come and they look. It's usually an hour of being inside the dome, looking at the solar system or looking at the constellations, and then also record a show. I must
bring my children.
Definitely.
I'll bring my children.
If your kids are above 5 years old, definitely, yes, because we don't allow younger than 5 years.
Yeah, no, my kids are much older than that.
So the kids just love it, and when they come and tell you that we were so amazed and we loved it, we'll come back again. That's when you feel that you've done something to bring the entertainment as well as learning to them.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing. So this is now an hub that's thinking very differently around how to be sustainable. It's in the entrepreneurship space, in the education space. You've opened up the venue. You've only started on the 1st of February. Mm-hmm. We as Africa or South Africa, we always talk about our potential. It's always on the cards. Mm-hmm. And yet we talk about infrastructure and marries and potential. Mm-hmm. As a team now, as you're setting and you're doing your plans and you're looking at the rest of the year and you're looking at what the opportunities are, in your words, what do you think is the potential of the Wits Anglo Dome going forward?
Yeah, so I think we have a great space to actually tell our own stories, own African stories.
I love it.
And we do have the talent in that. The thing is, it's not when you see all the planetarium shows, most of them are made in North America or Europe.
Yes.
Not much is made, but there are companies who are making it. And not just companies. For our launch, we had our launch in November. It was internal with Anglo American and all. But when we did that, Digital Arts Department at Wits University. So it was mostly students who took up as a final year project, and they created this amazing full dome video using Unity in less than 3 months' time. And that is something which is very local. It's within the university, and these students have the capability of telling a story using a full dome story. And it is totally a local content, locally made by local people using technology which is available. So we want to do more of those kind of things, and not everyone. And like, you don't always want to see what the sky looks like in the northern hemisphere. You want to see what it looks from just outside from the southern hemisphere, and that is something which we definitely are trying our best to do. So when we talk about when we show the night sky, and we tell them that Orion is not just the Greek hunter, but he is also the hunter among the Xhosas or the Zulus. So things like that, we try to make the connection with the local stuff. So I think that is quite useful, because then people don't feel alienated also. Oh no, that's the Greek mythology, but we also have our own mythology that we need to explore.
That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, Doctor, where can people get hold of you as a team if they are interested in collaborating, taking over the space for a day, renting, getting involved? Yeah.
So
or even just following the journey of the dome.
Yeah.
Because it's got a new lease on life now.
Yes. So our website is digitaldome.wits.ac.za, or if you just search for Digital Dome at Wits, it should be one of the first links. If you go to our website, there are a few links. So there is a link for shows, so you can find if you're interested in bringing a school, so you can contact us directly. The email address is there. If you're interested in booking for the public shows, that is through web tickets. The link is also on the website. If you want to hire the dome, the information is there, but not all the details are there, like the costing and everything. So because we charge differently for, suppose, a NGO and things like that, or if it's a small group coming.
Yeah, there's a
so they just need to
structure.
contact us directly. So our email addresses are all on the website. It's better to email me if you want to hire the venue, unless we will get a dedicated person for that. But
and
till
the
then,
email address is?
It's moumita.aitch@wits.ac.za.
Yeah, and I just want to, I think it's important for them to understand how to spell it. It's MOUMITA.Aitch, AITCH.
No, it's AICH.
Oh, sorry, I got the spelling wrong. Okay, so it's Moumita Aitch, the Moumita.Aitch at
Wits. wits.ac.za. So it is. I think it is because people do type in wrong and the email doesn't reach me. But I think it's best to just go on the website. The email addresses are all correct there. So
okay, perfect. It's correct on the website. Just go to the website, wits.ac.za.
Yes.
Doc, thank you very much for
thank you so much
for joining us. And wow, what an interesting and amazing progress story in the context of South Africa, and how this new, I think the acronym is WAD, right?
WAD, yeah.
You call it WAD.
Yeah.
The Wits Anglo Digital Dome that was actually launched on the 1st of Feb. So it's brand new smells. You can use it. You can be part of that new community. And I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's the former Wits Planetarium. It's that dome you see from the highway that used to run the system that was actually developed in 1930 and has now been replaced with a brand new digital system. So go and check it out. It's a fun thing to do with your family. It's a fun thing to do with your school. And it's a game changer if you're corporate and you want something brand new. So Doc, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.